Yo, what's going on? What's going on, my brethren?
What up? What do they do?
Man, not much. Let me see. Hold on, it's required to create live broadcast. So it's not letting us go live on Twitter for some
Oh,
reason.
you know what? I know what. Somebody said something about that yesterday.
Okay.
We got to get we got to upgrade Elon Musk, man.
Elon Musk. Oh, goddamn.
We got to pay for that blue check mark.
Well, we'll talk about that off. Anyway, well, man, goddamn Elon just destroying the world. We can't even tweet anymore. It'll change the name and everything, but look, it is what it is. How you doing today?
It's all good, man. I'm doing good, man. Can't complain. Got through the week. Saturday morning. Hey, ready to kick off these NFL division previews again.
Look, you know me, I'm a hoops head, but it's definitely one of my favorite times of the year, man. We got the petty, we finna have the pettiness going, but of course, you're gonna learn about a team that you never thought of. So we love doing this. This is our second time doing it, and we're gonna keep the flow going, bro. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Welcome to Let's Be Real Sports Podcast, presented by Let's Be Real Media. Watch us live on YouTube and Twitter, and follow us on TikTok and Instagram at LBR_media. Also, subscribe to us on any podcasting platform.
What's going on? BLJ here, the best hype man in the NBA. Man, I'm here with Let's Be Real. Tune in. Hello.
Let's be real.
Yes, sir. Another episode of Let's Be Real. I am the host, Ed Tev Shakir. Is where you can find me on all social media platforms instead of Twix, because Elon, we're gonna get you, dog. We're gonna get you. And of course, right here we got my dog Sharky. What's good, my brother?
Hey, what's good, man? Yeah, I mean, we still gonna use Twitter, so hey, I can't. We can talk bad about them, but we still gonna be on the joint. Can't even lie.
Oh man, and of course, bro, make sure y'all follow, subscribe. Everybody on YouTube checking us out, checking in. Make sure you subscribe. Like, definitely comment, please comment, because we got some heat for y'all this way. This is our first episode of doing our NFL episodes, so it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna go through each team, or try to go through each team. Of course, we're going with the NFC West today. But before then, of course, shout out to our other pods, 3 the Harder Way, our Genes Report, Ron Harris with the Jump Pass pod. Ron already in the comments, bro. What's going on, man? Of course, we got The Real Deal with Damian Adams. Shout out to Damian. And of course, LBR Gaming. Apparently, he got the new NCAA game, so he know what's up with that as well. So we're gonna have to talk to him about that.
Yeah, I'm playing again today.
For real? Screw you.
Today.
Of course, Mike, make sure y'all buy merch. Sharky rocking the merch right now. And shout out to our sponsors with SeatGeek. Shout out to SeatGeek. Shout out to them. Without further ado, man, Sharky, ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's get into our division series. And of course, we can't have a series without the people. Speaking of the people, the first guest we're going to bring up is a man of the people, especially if you're in Memphis. His attire match what he got, his attitude, naughty by nature. A literal day one, homie, Mr. Melvin Purdy, aka Melvin Purdy Seacom. What's going on? We remember.
We're still bringing up all stuff. Tim. All right,
man. You the homie, man. You the homie.
I know. What's up, y'all? Melvin Purdy here. Lifelong Memphian. I'm representing the Rams today. I've been a Rams fan since St. Louis. By the way, I'm not a bandwagon. Just to let y'all know, I'm 32 years old, so I can't be a bandwagon. So I've been rocking since Marshall Faulk, Trent Green, Kurt Warner, all that. So just let y'all know for those that don't know. You know, I know these two lovely gentlemen know. These two lovely gentlemen know, but
lovely. These college lovely and gentlemen, bro. Okay, cool.
Pause.
Anyway, speaking of lovely, good job, Melvin. Good job, Melvin. Speaking of lovely, our next guest we're gonna have on is Candace. She's the co-host for the Sports Ethos Grizzlies, and Sports Ethos Seahawks. She will be representing the Seahawks today. Of course, we had her on last year, and she did an amazing job. So, Candace, come on up. Thank you for joining us.
What's up, guys? Always pleasure to be here.
Of course. Hope you're ready.
Oh, of course. You know I'm gonna be there for that. Yeah. Don't do it. Chop it up.
Yeah, let's get it. And speaking of the city, of course, y'all know I moved out to Arizona, so it's only right that we have someone from Arizona who does great work for the Arizona Republic. Shout out to Greg. He's a writer. What up, Greg?
What's up, y'all? Greg Moore, Arizona Republic opinion columnist. Good to see you guys. Thank you for having me.
Man, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's early. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, man. I know you could have been.
Hey, listen, I appreciate it, man, but I aspire to live a boring life. I go to bed early. I get up early. I got you, man.
Let's get it. Well, again, we appreciate it. We appreciate everybody for joining us, man. We're going to get right into it. Start off with some positive energy. Of course, we're going to have flowers. I start this thing off. Pretty much flowers. You can call them dead, you can call them stale, you can call them old, but they're flowers nonetheless. And my flowers go to Skip Bayless. Of course, we got word that he'll be leaving FS1. They say he'll be leaving. I say he'll get fired, but nonetheless, we can't take away what this man has done in the sports industry and sports talk radio, sports talk television. He started, was it Cold Pizza, who I was a fan of it, got into First Take, and then the whole debate thing, the boys sports talk radio came into play. So we don't want to discredit anything this man has done, even though he kind of make crazy takes. We don't want to discredit anything he's done. So shout out to Skip Bayless. Y'all got some?
Yeah, I'm gonna get some flowers to Pete Carroll, legendary Seahawks coach. We'll talk about it as we get in, but you guys may know Pete Carroll was let go his past off season. So just want to give that guy his flowers, really talking about everything he's done for Seattle, bringing it to Super Bowl, the Seahawks franchise, and really he's the reason why I'm a Seahawks fan. The fun, the energy, the underdog mentality he brought with Legion of Boom was very much so like my grit and grind Grizz at the time I started watching football. So anyway, shout out to him. Reason I started watching football. Pete Carroll, give you flowers.
Yes, sir. Anybody else?
I'll give some to just like Candace did. I'm give some to Aaron Donald. As you know, he retired this past off season. Greatest one of the greatest ever do, obviously. Top 5 defensive player overall, in my opinion, my humble opinion. We can argue that on another time when we can do it today, whatever. But I just want to give flowers to him because he's been such an amazing player, especially where it's such a passing oriented league now, and he dominated like no other. So I just want to give his flowers. Right
on. Great. You got something?
Yeah, Elon Musk. Listen.
God damn it.
It's true though.
Hey, you think I'm playing? Y'all over here dissing a billionaire who has his own rocket ship. Elon, they said it, not me, dog. Like, you want to go to Mars? Let's rock.
I know. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You really nice.
Touche.
I really got no problem with the whole premium thing. I was like, hey, my first thought when I said that, I was like, I'm gonna end up paying it. More than likely.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a good one, Greg. I respect that, man. That's messed up, man.
This is gonna be fun.
Oh man, this is gonna be fun. So y'all ready, man? What's up?
I just want to piggyback off we got Arizona getting represented here, so I did want to give a shout out to the WNBA All-Star Weekend going on in Phoenix right now. Had a good skills challenge, 3-point shootout last night, and of course the actual All-Star game format, Team USA versus the All-Star team tonight. So figure that's pretty neat. So yeah, shout out to the WNBA once again.
Yo, man, I'm glad you brought that up. I was out there yesterday. I was talking to the players on Team USA. This is actually a big game, right? Like, you think this is just an all-star game. It's a glorified layup line, a bunch of threes, whatever. These guys have to get ready for the Olympics. Like, this is their first time coming together, like, as this unit. Man, those teams internationally, they've been together a long time. And all of the momentum around the WNBA, a $2.2 billion media rights deal. We're talking league expansion, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, like all of these eyeballs, that momentum stops if they lose. So they got to go win gold. There's an unprecedented level of pressure on the WNBA players right now. I'm glad you brought that up, but Elon and the rocket ship.
Oh man! Besides the Elon, Greg, you actually
Hey,
just convinced me.
I would say
You
also
actually
too,
just convinced me, bro.
Elon
What's
brought
up?
business to Memphis.
Man, he finna turn all y'all. Ooh, I almost cussed.
Hey.
Yeah, he finna turn every Memphian into a clone, bro. I'm gonna come back to the city. I ain't gonna recognize nobody. He finna clone everybody. Sharky, I know you. Mel, I know Candace. Hey,
I don't need.
Let's be real. Come on, man.
I don't need that. I don't need that right now. I got people talking about they look like me and all this stuff. People come up to me. I'm like, nah, I don't need that. I don't need that stress in my life.
Shit, me
I think
neither.
it's gonna be through the drinking water. Y'all don't drink it. It's gonna be through the drinking water.
Man, I'm sure had to miss hard.
Goddamn, Elon. Look, thank you, Greg. You did convince me to go ahead and go to the game, even though I probably make it like at halftime. I'm pretty sure, like, serious. I got to work, but like right after work, I didn't know if I was gonna go. But the fact that you said I didn't want to come to something that's gonna be BS, but the fact that you said it would be competitive, I love competitive basketball. That's what I live for. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up. Yeah. I appreciate that.
And the piggyback off what Greg said, like I'm just glad like everybody's talking about basketball with the WNBA again, not like other stuff on the side, because these women are like this is like the best women's basketball has been ever, in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure like most people agree also. And I feel like just like these women are like this draft class that came in with, even though Brent's hurt, Reese and Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark's like balling right now. The Fever finally like got it going right now. So I feel great how everybody's talking about the actual basketball and instead of like other stuff on the side, with Reese and the Caitlin Clark and like other stuff that doesn't have to do with the game itself.
Agreed.
Good point.
Agreed.
I don't know if this is the best team ever. Hold on, I don't mean to sidetrack this, but 96 was dope, man. We got to do some homework on this, man. We got to think about it. I'm talking Staley.
No. I'm talking USA. I'm talking like the actual like league. Like
the league.
Right.
Yeah.
No, the league is in good shape. The league is in good shape for sure. For sure.
But 96 all day.
Oh, bro. All right, let's get it, man. Melvin, you got the show, man. You ready to talk about your Rams?
I'm ready.
Shit, let's do it, man. Of course, 2-minute drill starts now. Do your thing, though, brother. Let's get it.
All right, so I'm representing the LA Rams, Rams house. We, far as like off-season acquisitions, we lost, of course, Aaron Donald, as we just stated before. It's gonna be a big loss. He's our leader, just off, disregard everything in his career, but he's our leader of our defense. So now we got, as we drafted Jared Verse in the first round for Florida State, and then Braden Fisk, who also was a Florida State linebacker and D tackles, respectfully. So I think pretty sure they're gonna have to fill it. They'll definitely have to fill in the void that Aaron Donald is gonna leave. Also, we brought in drafted Blake Corum in the third round from Michigan, which I think was a steal because I really enjoyed him at Michigan. I just think, and I think as far as the defense is concerned, like we still have a very young defense. Everybody's pretty much a second, third year players, and a bunch of rookies still. So that's something that people like Kobe Turner, which is coming in his second year, and people like Bobby Brown IV have to come in and like take over and help out. And then also the resurgence of Puka Nacua on the offensive side is real big because Cooper Kupp has been very like injury ridden past couple years, and nobody saw Puka coming at all. And he just took the whole league by storm. He could have been rookie of the year, but I knew they was gonna give CJ Stroud realistically, so I'm fine with that. but yeah, also Kyron Williams, he went through an injury last year, in the middle of the year, and I think with Blake Corum coming in, it would definitely help out both of them. He had a hell of a season last year, so I'm really excited for this year because I felt like going into last year was like very I wasn't expecting much. At Candace, even like last year on the show, Candace was like, I don't know what the Rams are gonna do.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Puka
so
Nuka told us up. I was
exactly.
like, before I knew who he was, I was like, who is Puka Nuka and why is he killing us on this team? But Puka Nuka, I call him by his name now. But
Oh yeah, just like I do with JSN. So, but anyway, yeah, it's just I'm real excited for this year. Especially like I see the growth of our players and everything. So, let's go Rams.
All right. So first question I got. I know ain't one person replacing the Aaron Donald, but
Right.
how y'all replacing Aaron Donald?
Right.
Well, you got to have, you got Kobe Turner, you got Ernest Jones, you got Bobby Brown, have to take over the, like I said, the leading qualities. It's gonna be nobody of course nobody gonna replace Aaron Donald, obviously. So, but it's just got to be people that step up and everything. Like I said, Kobe and Ernest can do those jobs. They've been there for few years. By Brown also, so just got to be a full effort from everyone to come together.
I got a real question. Is Nakua the real deal, or did he just shine? Just have that one opportunity and he took it and literally ran with it, or is it something that we expect him to do next season? Because if so, I'm probably gonna pick him top 10 fantasy.
I think it's real. I think it's a real deal. He definitely showed a lot. As far as like just coming in, we thinking Cooper Kupp is gonna be it's Cooper Kupp's team. It's Cooper Kupp's receiving core, and then you also have coming in Puka. Even in coming in draft, I was like, okay, like he's gonna be third behind Tutu Atwell or something like that. But I think he's definitely a real deal. Put your hedge your bets, bro. I'm telling you, he's real deal. He's quick. He can catch. Like he does a lot. He's just a hard worker. He like him. He's such a great guy too. Like he's not like arrogant or anything at all. Just a humble human being outside the field. So yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
About Puka. Okay, so his performance dwindled a little bit when Cooper Kupp came back because they kind of work in the same area. Do you think they gonna work that out? Do you think they gonna like alternate? Like, what do you think how you think they're gonna figure that out?
I think a longer time together, as far as like an off season, like training camp, things like that will definitely help with that. And also it just depends on Kupp's health. As long as Kupp stays healthy and does anything, if Kupp gets hurt, I think Puka can step in and come in. It'll just be Tutu Atwell and Puka on the side, and then third slot be DeMarcus Robinson. So I'm cool with that. Like, and then also people forget Tyler Higbee, which he tore his ACL in the Detroit game, in Detroit playoff game. So we got him. We gonna be probably have him out for like a little bit. And then we signed Kobe Parkinson, former Seahawk.
Yep.
So it's very business. But to answer your question overall, Candace, I just think it just depends on Kupp's health. If Kupp stays healthy, it should be fine because they have time together and everything. I think Stafford coming in healthy has definitely helped. Coming into training camp healthy has definitely helped a lot. Just about getting those reps in together and just working together.
Cool.
Great. You got a question for him?
No, I'm listening and learning. What's Matt Stafford going to do?
That was my next question,
I mean, really, no, let's be realistic, right? We know Matt Stafford is a Super Bowl quality guy. We know Matt Stafford can fit the ball into any window. When Matt Stafford plays well, he plays great. But we've seen Matt Stafford spray the ball everywhere, throw a bunch of picks, and we know he's 450 years old. Like the guy's out there completely wrapped up like a mummy. I have no idea how he's even standing. I've never seen a guy take a from a walker, but Matt Stafford might be the first guy to have to do it. So what do you predict out of Matt Stafford?
I think, honestly, Greg, like coming in these past couple years, he's been hurt. He's been coming in. He's been getting hurt. He had a thumb injury. He had other ailments previously, and then I'm afraid because I wanted, like, coming in this draft, I wanted to draft a quarterback because Matt Stafford is 35 years old, and you got to have somebody that steps in and wants to, take that next round. Matt Stafford probably doesn't have like 3 years left because his contract's up like in that time. So I think with Matt, it's a way you can. I think it'll work out, but I'm scared because we got Jimmy G backing him up. So.
Well, now listen, I'll say this much. Jimmy G as a backup is a pretty strong backup, right? I think problem with Jimmy G is when he's been handed the keys and asked to do it the whole season. But if he has to step in for a game or two, I'm not sure you could do better than that. And I didn't mean to sound flip. Like, Matt Stafford's incredible, right? That dude's a Hall of Famer. But at the same time, when he's good, he's great. And when he's bad, you're going to lose games because he's trying to do too much. And he's old and he gets hurt.
Yeah, and also the line, our offensive line is like past couple years, losing Whitworth has definitely kind of didn't help at all either from after he retired from the Super Bowl. So I think like having a new line with Steve Avila in the center position, then also still got Rob Havenstein on the blind side. So I definitely just as far as that line, as long as that line holds up well, I think it's gonna be good. But past couple years, like far as the what's the word? The pattern of him, being hurt or something like that. I think, I'm expecting something honestly, but and that's something that Jimmy G had to get those reps in. Like you said, you make a good point. Like Jimmy G's not bad for a backup, but I wouldn't want if we had to deal with like the year when we had to have Baker Mayfield and Bryce Perkins a couple years ago holding the keys. I'm like, Lord, like I'm freaking scared. But I think
in the words of Devontae Adams, he tried to kill me.
Right.
That's what he said. So that's anything else for the Rams? All right, man. Good stuff, brother. Good stuff. Really, he said he tried to kill me.
Yeah.
That's the backup, though. But I think Greg is right for a game or two he'll do, but not for a whole damn season. Oh no.
Nah.
Oh no. All right.
But
Candace, what's up?
We got a comment. Well, a question from the comments.
Oh, what's up? Do you think Sean McVay is going?
Ryan
to
said, "Do you think Sean McVay is going to coach the Rams in the next 1 or 2 years?"
I say 2.
Two.
Yeah. I say 2. The thing with previous years, it was Aaron Donald was kind of like always contemplating retirement, and like McVay was just always would meet every offseason, like work on each other, work with each other, be like, hey, what you doing? What you gonna do? Whatever you do, I'm gonna do. Now that you got a Super Bowl ring, it's like, okay.
Makes it a little easier.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I think as for Ryan, I think it's gonna be 2. If I have to hedge my bet on one or the other, I'd say 2.
Let's see. Anything else?
That was it.
Okay. All right, Candace, you are up with our 2-minute drill. Let's get it.
All right, cool. Well, the big storyline for the Seahawks is obviously Pete Carroll leaving. They hired defensive coordinator with the Ravens, Mike McDonald, which I think is a great hire. Really excited about that. So we had some change-ups, obviously, on the roster just with a new regime. Now, they did keep the GM, John Snyder. He's still in effect. He was it's kind of really his first time taking over, making all the calls, as it was kind of rumored that Pete Carroll was really the guy making a lot of those personnel decisions for a long time. Until recent years when it's kind of rumored to change up. So anywho, in and out, we lost some names, you know what I mean? Like on the team. I'm not sure that the talent drop off is as tremendous as the names would indicate, but we lost Quandre Diggs, Pro Bowler, Jamal Adams, who's now with the Titans, Bobby Wagner, Jordan Brooks, Will Disley, keeps like our 1B tight end kind of. We lost Kobe Parkinson, like Melvin just said, lost him to the Rams. He was our 3rd string tight end, and then we lost Damian Lewis. So those are some of the bigger names. That's our left guard. And he was pretty. I'd say he was probably one of our better interior offensive linemen, which is sad. But anyway, that's what we lost. But we re-signed Leonard Williams, which was a really big deal. They had traded for him. towards the end of the season at the trade deadline last season, and he was pretty much the only dude that looked good on defense. It was rough.
Mhm.
It went downhill, but he was really the guy that was sort of holding together. That was really like making plays. Assisting him and Devin Witherspoon when he was playing was really some of the only two guys consistently trying, man, on defense. So good to have him back and shore up that defensive line. We got George Fant from the Jets. Got him as a potential insurance policy because the offensive line was absolutely wrecked with injury, particularly right tackle Abe Lucas. He is Pete Carroll at one point said that he had a chronic knee injury, just had off-season surgery. There's word is that it's not looking chronic now, like the surgery really helped fix that, but still a big question mark in terms of like his health and ability to stay on the field. Now, if he can be on the field, I think he's a game changer. That dude can pancake some dudes, man. That guy is a stud if he's going to be healthy. But last year, even when he was on the field, he couldn't even stay because he was literally rotating snaps with another person because he couldn't even do 10 consecutive snaps on the field at a time. So it was rough. Anyway, George Fant, good insurance policy, completely wiped out the linebacker room. So we went from Bobby Wagner and Jordan Brooks, which I thought was overall a pretty good tandem, to Jerome Baker of the Miami Dolphins and Tyrell Dotson, which is an underrated pickup. He had a lot of opportunity to shine in the Bills in his limited time. I think he played about 500 snaps on defense, but he was one of the highest ranked linebackers at that time. He just got to prove he can do it over a consistent, full season. But like we saw a lot from him last year. Re-signed Noah Fant, who I'm excited about that particular signing because he had to share snaps with Will Dissly. Like I said, I basically had a 1B and a 1A, 1B situation in terms of division. They had a lot of 3 tight end sets. And I just don't feel like Noah Fant was used, man. The guy averaged like 12.1 yards per catch, but he didn't get a lot of catches. It was crazy to me. So anyway, excited about that. A couple other notable guys. Jonathan Hankins from the Dallas Cowboys defensive line, sort of big nose tackle guy. Get some more meat up. False. Get some stout structure in the middle of the defensive line. Rayshawn Jenkins from the Jaguars, I think. Yeah, he got from the draft. He's a safety. Picked him up. I like his upside. He was pretty good with the Jaguars, but I think Mike Macdonald's defense, he'll shine a little bit. Kayvon Wallace, another safety they picked up, and then finally Pharaoh Brown. It's sort of like an underrated blocking tight end. He had a good end of the year run with the Patriots, which I guess wasn't too hard to do given their offensive weapons. So I don't know what that really means in terms of like when you're on a team with actual weapons. We'll see, man. But anyway, I think the main thing is from who we lost and who we gained. We took out a lot of money at the safety position. We're paying way too much money for safety play, like $50 million for two safeties. Insane money. Yeah, insane money for safety play. That wasn't even, you know what I mean? Like you got to be game changing at that position, and it wasn't. So divested that. It was a downgrade, but I think a reasonable downgrade. Linebacker, a big question mark, really. I think that it's got potential good upside, but the main thing is versatility in his defense. You got to be able to do some of everything, and so that's pretty much why we moved away. On the drafted Byron Murphy, huge pickup. Really excited about that guy. In my opinion, best defensive tackle lineman like in the draft. Of course, maybe I'm a little biased, but I felt that way before we drafted him. So I felt like he was like top quality for our team. Picked up guard Christian Haynes. Really hoping he pushes for a starting role a lot. Like I really need for him to push for a starting role. I think he's got a lot of upside, really mobile. Probably one of the only true like guards in the draft, not a tackle. They need to be converted over. So big on him. Linebacker Tyrese Knight, got him. Not a fan of him, but we'll see. We get a young man a chance. He's real raw. Came out of UTEP, so it's gonna be a real learning curve for him, just from his level of competition to what he did, to what he will need to do now at the NFL level. We'll see. See everything else. AJ Barnes, a tight end. We picked him up, so he'd be the third string guy, kind of the Kobe Parkinson replacement. He was with Michigan. If you watch a lot of Michigan games, people think he has an underrated passing ability. Michigan was trying to run the ball at all times, pretty much. So he could bring some upside in that regard, but definitely going to be solid on the blocking end. He got a couple cornerbacks to, I think, kind of back up David Witherspoon in the nickel. I think it's really what it comes down to in terms of their role or what they can really realistically contribute, because the cornerback room is stacked on this team. So we'll see if they can get snaps or not. But right now, that's really depth. And a couple of offensive linemen that are just also serving its depth on the team. But yeah, that's pretty much as close as I can get to 2 minutes rundown of like ins and outs of the off season and just sort of
like close to 2 minutes. She went like 7 minutes. This is like 2 minutes watching the game when somebody's like, "Hey, was the game almost over?" And you like, "Yeah, it's only 2 minutes on the clock, but it takes like 15 minutes of actual lifetime."
It's fixed. It's fixed.
Atlanta could, man. Atlanta could.
Playing with you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Thank you. I'm messing with you.
You're good.
I'm glad y'all like it because y'all next, but I'm gonna catch y'all slipping sooner or later. I'm gonna get all of y'all.
But yeah, man, like I said, close I can get. It's a lot to cover, man. When you fire a coach, I don't know what you want from me. You asking a lot.
Yeah. All right, let's start there with the questions, right? So, who's the new coach and what should we expect?
Yeah, Mike McDonald. If you saw the Ravens defense last year, then you know what to expect. that guy is all about, like I said, versatility is key. He runs what his thing is simulated pressure. He's considered to be the defensive version of Sean McVay. Now, we'll see if that actually is true, but in terms of his innovation and the way he actually teaches the game, they tend to not run as much in terms of like formations as much as understanding what each person does and then switching their roles to make it confusing for the offense to not know who's going to be where on what given snap. And I think that's really the mystery of what he does. He's able to teach a simplistic style, but really make it look complex for the opposing teams. I got to see if he can translate that obviously over to our personnel, but I really think that he was able to make the best out of guys who were journeymen. I mean, Jadeveon Clowney had a career year under Mike McDonald. Calvin Noy had one of his best years under Mike McDonald. So guys who were, who you knew kind of what you had sort of rose their level and what they gave you under him, which is really what is my biggest thing in terms of why I'm so optimistic on him. You never know if you're a coach to your coach, right? So there's always going to be that question mark, but this defense dramatically needed scheming. Man, scheming like that. This question, there wasn't a question of talent on the Seahawks defense. Like they drastically underperformed for years at a time, and it really was just absolute mismanagement. Gave my flowers Pete Carroll earlier, but absolute mismanagement of your talent and maximizing them and playing to their strengths. Really trying to fit your guys in a box, and that box didn't even really make sense. So it was a lot of crazy. Like the defense has been bad on the Seahawks. Nobody talks about this on the national stage, but the defense has been bottom 10 for like 6 years. It sucked. We need a scheme change, man. So excited for that.
I just got one question. I've been thinking about this like leading up to today.
Okay.
Just simple, like what's your thoughts on Geno?
Geno, I'm a Geno.
You still high on Geno? I remember
Still
that.
high on Geno, man. Geno put up with a bottom 3 defense, offensive line that literally had all 5 starters missing at that point, and still managed to only allowed 10 sacks. And bro, that was just because Geno was running for his life. Like that guy was just running for his life. He gave you average play, right? Like he gave you, he was all right in terms of if you look at his production. Yeah. But given his situation, he still led the league in game-winning touchdowns, game-winning drives. I mean, like he still was a lot to like. Pressured on 47% of his snaps. I don't know what else you want from him. I just think everybody's down on Geno. I understand it, but if you can give Geno's the kind of guy you need to give support to, and his contract matches that. So his contract allows for you to do that. Ain't like you paying him $50 million.
Exactly.
So build the team around them, and they didn't do that last year. So we'll see what they do. But either way, I think your floor with Geno is still solid. I'm not worried about Geno I mean, can he be better than average? Yeah, but the question is, I mean, I think he could still play up the top 10 at least for half the season. That's what he's proven. He's proven at least for half the season he played like a top 10 quarterback. I take it.
Okay.
So we have a question from the comment that kind of goes along with that question, but in a different way. Since y'all have a new coach, do you think Geno days are numbered depending on the new, what new coach system is like, or however you want?
Not really. They got Sam Howell. They did trade for Sam Howell as a backup, which I think is a solid backup, in his first year as a starter. Sort of a gunslinger, 21 touchdowns, 21 interceptions. Yeah. His O-line wasn't good either. In his defense, I think it's a good backup situation. But from everything reports out of camp, there's a clear divide between where Geno is and where Sam Howell is. Maybe next year, would there be a question? Perhaps, depends on how Geno performs this year. But this year is not the question.
And next question from the comments: what's DK Metcalf's future with the Seahawks?
Now that's a good question.
Chasing down Buda Baker somewhere.
He's still to this day, like right now, still chasing down Buda Baker.
Everywhere Buda goes, he sees DK like,
yeah. Yeah, no, I really don't know for real. Like I know this year he's gonna play. He's already said he's not really looking at other people's money. Boy, you looking at other people's money, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know if the Seahawks are gonna be willing to pay him. I think he has top 10 wide receiver talent, but I mean he's got two legitimate guys now next to him in JSN and Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett's been kind of getting some of his share. They've both been 1,000-yard receivers in multiple years. So I get why it's been a minute since he's had like 1,300 yards, 1,400 yards. So we'll see. I don't know. I think it's a big year for him for sure. I think the biggest thing they're going to be looking for him is from a leadership perspective, can he take a step in that regard? Because Mike McDonald is a poised kind of guy. Like he believes in poise. He's been preaching that. And that's not DK Metcalf. Like he's not exactly a picture of poise. So can they make that work? We'll see. It's a good question though.
Candace, we'll be doing our predictions very soon as far as like, of course, you know how to run down the go. And who we think is going to be in the top bottom division. You guys went 9-8, right? And regardless of everything you talked about, whether it's how bad the defense is, how Geno's been running for his life, yada yada, y'all went 9-8. Should we realistically be expecting a step back because most of the people that you've named were on defense, big names were on defense? Even though you got a defensive coach, he's still a rookie. So, should we expect 9-8 again, or should we expect some kind of step back realistically?
I'm expecting at least 9-8 again, just because the talent is there. And when you bottom 3 in the defense, like they're gonna be better than bottom 3 defense. Right. Now there's a big question about. My biggest question is more about new offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb coming over from the Washington Huskies offense. Can he translate that to the NFL? But I think the talent is still there. So I expect them to at least maintain where they are. If they can't, I get it. You know what I'm saying? It is a rookie coach, so I'm not gonna be harping on it. But this team is too talented to just be. They were, like you said, they were 9-8 with a terrible defense and a terrible O-line. Right. Like the team should have been 11, maybe 12, but for sure 11 wins because they dropped a couple that they should have. That were just quite frankly embarrassing.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. All right, y'all got anything?
My question was taken in the comments.
Was the Metcalf? Yeah.
About Geno.
But y'all in an interesting spot, man. It's like it looked like y'all want to go for youth, but it's like y'all are there. Like that 9-8 is good, and you feel like that y'all can do better. So it's interesting times.
They win a lot of games
for sure. I mean, you got some vets, but there's a real infusion of youth. I'm not gonna say it's. Right. I believe it's a young team overall, especially now that the old heads are gone.
All right.
I remember y'all beat Detroit like early in the season last year, and like y'all had a lot of games where y'all like blew later on down the stretch.
Geno he can play in the dome now. Geno can play in the dome. Get to the dome, and Geno is absolutely gonna have a career day. Like it's no question. Now put that man in some rain, and then we got some concerns. But
which is crazy because he stays in Seattle. which rains like hell.
Which rains like.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I think he's been getting lucky on that. Most of the home games actually hasn't rained like that. Because I ain't gonna lie, if it rains, I'm gonna be a little concerned on that game. But can play in the dome, man. Go look it up. New Orleans games, Detroit Lions games. That man cuts up.
Just like Josh Allen, like early in his career was like, scared of like real cold.
Yep.
Like it was weird. I remember the sidetrack Bar Scott. I remember Bar Scott said he needs to take Viagra to help with the blood pressure, which is crazy. I'm like, whoa.
Wait, really?
He said that. Yeah, because he said because like I said, it said some players do that because it helps with the blood pressure.
I think that's like when girls say they take birth control because it helps their skin.
That's very interesting.
You cannot trick me.
Shout out Bart Scott, man. My bad.
Oh man, Greg, you up, man? What's up? What's going on with these Cardinals out here? Because they suck, from what I'm seeing. And
that's putting it nicely, Loki.
It's putting it nicely, like it is cool, but even the stadium is.
So I'm on the clock.
You on the clock now, bro. Convince me
All
that
right.
the Cardinals will do better than 4-13,
So
and why
check
I
this
can
out,
buy
right?
a ticket.
I'm looking at the clock in the corner. It says 41, 37, 8, 9. Let's try to do this in 2 minutes, all right?
You good, Greg?
So are the Cardinals now what the Detroit Lions were a couple of years ago? The Cardinals coach, Jonathan Gannon, is this young guy who's kind of a maniac in the same way that Dan Campbell, the Lions coach, is kind of a maniac. He's going for it on fourth down. He's throwing the ball when he ought to pass it. He's blitzing. When the Cardinals look good, and over the last 8 games of the season last year when Kyler Murray came back, they were fun to watch. I've watched just about every snap of Kyler Murray's career. The guy is Barry Sanders mixed with Warren Moon. He's like a cat chasing a laser dot. Defenders will get embarrassed if they are dealing with Kyler Murray in space. The questions Kyler Murray has to answer: can he do it for a full season? And can he switch his style up? We saw Rocky fight Apollo Creed. We saw Rocky fight Clubber Lang. If Rocky was going to keep coming straight forward, Clubber Lang was going to knock his head clean off, and the rest of the franchise would be Clubber movies and not Rocky movies. Rocky had to learn how to move around. Rocky had to learn how to fight it a little bit differently. Ironically, he learned it from Apollo. Can Kyler Murray learn from other quarterbacks that he's gone against to try to switch the style up to make sure that he can go in the pocket, not get hurt, move the pocket around, get the ball out, so that in the fourth quarter and in the red zone, he can do all of the heroic stuff we've seen him do and we've come to know and love. The other thing I want to bring attention to is James Conner. This guy is a dog. He will knock you down. He will knock you over. He will knock you out. He will stiff arm you into the third row. Can he do it all season long? And can he be a 3-down back? I think anybody who tries to play 3 downs at running back in the NFL is completely insane, because you're probably going to get hurt. But if anybody can do it, James Conner can do it. He is the Terminator. Final thing, Trey McBride. Is he today what George Kittle was 2 years ago, right before everybody really knew that Kittle was like a separator, kind of a tight end? I think Trey McBride has those skills. We saw him step in for Zach Ertz last season, and he really, was able to make some big plays. He was able to catch the ball in traffic. I think I've gone over my 2 minutes, but I think the top goal for the Cardinals, right? Stay in every game. Make opponents work and mess around and win a couple games that other people thought you were going to lose in a division that ought to be down. Because if Pete Carroll's gone, the Seahawks are probably down. If the 49ers went to the Super Bowl and didn't win it, does the Super Bowl jinx still exist? The Rams have lost Aaron Donald, and Matt Stafford is 450 years old, as we discussed. This could be an opportunity for the Cardinals to take a jump, and I want to see if they can do it.
You're not selling me on a down year, though. Not in that division. You might
Well,
settle on that. You tried it though. I like it. I respect it.
Which team?
Any team, all the teams. I
All
think
of them.
it's gonna be really tight in the division. I don't think it's gonna be a down year in the division.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's optimistic. That's okay. I respect it. You got to tell yourself something. You're an Arizona fan.
So here's a tricky part. Here's a real tricky part. I'm not an Arizona fan. I cover the team. I've covered the team for about 7 years. I've met just about every player on the roster. I've talked to just about all the guys in the locker room. I've met the coaches, talked to the coaches, met the GM, talked to the GM. In my business, we like to say we root for the best story. And for me, the best story is for the team that kind of takes a step that nobody really expected them to take and to do it in spectacular fashion. For me, a good goal for the Cardinals would be that team that you keep an eye on once your team is out of it, right? Like, so if you're in Jacksonville and your team done lost 3 out of 5 and you ain't got nothing to do, you peek at the Cardinals and go, yo, what are these guys up to? You're rooting for the Giants and done what the Giants do. You peek over at the Cardinals and go, yo, man, these guys are fun to watch. I think that's a great goal. Now, again, you might not be sold on the division being down. I respect that. I get it. The 49ers are a terrific organization. They're good every year. And I'm not sure the Super Bowl jinx is a real thing anymore. It used to be, like, when I really was forming my opinions on the NFL, it always seemed like the team that went to the Super Bowl and lost fell apart the next year. That's not quite the case anymore. But, right, that's a lot of football the 49ers have played. Brandon Ayuk, what's going on there? I don't know. The defense, are they going to hold up? I mean, there were a lot of free agents on that team. I'd have to have somebody break down every single position on the roster like you guys did. But I think the 49ers, you know, it's asking a lot for them to keep playing at this level year in, year out, year in, year out. The Seahawks, as you discussed, listen, man, you got a new coach. That's not Pete Carroll up there anymore. The Seahawks and the Cardinals hate each other. They have for a long time. But I don't know if the Seahawks know exactly who they are. I don't know if they've been battle tested. And I can't think of too many examples outside of D'Amico Ryans where a new coach steps in and the team takes this huge jump. I just don't know if it's going to happen. And again, with the Rams, they cycle a lot of guys through that system. They've spent a lot of money to win the Super Bowl. They're handcuffed in a lot of ways. You said yourself, Candace, that they've got 2 of the best wide receivers in the sport that play the same position. So they've got a lot of questions to answer. You might be right. The division could be what it always is. The NFC West is always a monster. Like, we know that.
Yeah.
But maybe.
You got to hope.
Yeah.
You got to hope. I'm with you.
Yeah.
What are we expecting Marvin Harrison to do his rookie year?
I don't care. He's a rookie. Show me something, Rook. I don't care if you're the number 4 pick. I don't care if you're the first non-quarterback drafted. I don't care if your daddy was a Hall of Famer. I don't care if you Maserati Marv and you running 30 miles an hour. Show me something, Rook. And with that said, I expect him to show us something. I mean, that dude dude play football. So I'm eager to watch it. I'm really excited to watch it because what we have not seen is the Cardinals have that consistent downfield threat on the field with Kyler, with other weapons. Like, we had DeAndre Hopkins here in town for a couple of seasons, but it was like DeAndre was hurt and then Kyler was hurt. And then, you know, the second guy was weird, right? You know, Hollywood Brown, and like, it was weird.
Yeah.
If Marvin Harrison can be a downfield guy, and then you've got Trey McBride coming over, and then you've got the threat of James Conner, and we know what Kyler can do, I'm eager to watch it, but he's a rookie and it is the NFL. He is going to have to prove it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Ken.
Are you concerned about James Conner already reaching his career prime? Because he had a great year, but I mean, I think he's in year 8, if I'm not mistaken, at this point in his career. He's never had any career like he had last year, including with you guys the year before.
Yeah, so he looked great before he got hurt 2 years ago. He was kind of low usage with the Steelers, if I remember right, because I think he was sharing time in the backfield. It's always a concern with a running back that you think they're about to have a great year and then they fall off a cliff. But James Conner's head is screwed on the right way. I've talked to that guy a bunch. He is all about football. He's all about working out. He's all about staying in shape. And let's not forget, this is a guy who survived cancer, right? He beat cancer coming out of college to make it to the NFL. So if there's anybody who knows how to grasp a day or to take advantage of the moment that's in front of you, it's a guy like James Conner. If it can be done, I believe in him to be the kind of guy who can do it. But the concern is legitimate given the position and the violence it's going to take. And again, if he's going to be a 3-down back, man, God bless this man, because that is not an easy thing to do in the NFL.
Yeah.
Nah. So who's I'm sorry. So who'll be behind Connor?
That's a great question. Last year they had about 7 guys. So we're gonna have to take a look and see who they decide on. But yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
All right, mine seals kind of. So we got a question in the comments. Mine's kind of almost go to where he goes, but mine's gonna be, has Kyler Murray started watching film?
Listen, man. College Football 25 came out, so if they can download the Arizona Cardinals offense onto the Oklahoma Sooners, I'm not worried about Kyler, right? Like he's gonna be like he's getting his mental reps. Like I'm not worried about it. I thought that was really so honestly, as a black man, that offended me, right? Like we don't ever hear about practice habits or film habits with guys, and all of a sudden we got this black quarterback who signs the biggest contract in the league at the time that he signed it. Now all of a sudden there are all these questions about whether mentally he can get it done. Never mind the reality that any offense featuring Kyler Murray really ought to be just moving the pocket and putting the safety in a bind. The safety's got a decision to make. Does he play the deep guy? Does he play the short guy? Oh, yeah, and everybody on the backside better watch because Kyler can take off and go the other direction. It's really simple when you got a dude that talented. So I don't know how much film you need to watch to make one read.
Yeah, sounds about right. Question from the comments. He asked, "Are y'all afraid of Call of Duty curse?" He said, "For context, Kyler Murray's play usually dips after the new Call of Duty drops." That's why I said that's funny.
So again, this is one of those things that I don't get it. Kyler Murray's not in the nightclub buying bottles. Kyler Murray's not running around taking vacations during the middle of a playoff run. Kyler Murray's not filming a whole bunch of commercials with his celebrity girlfriend. The man is at home playing video games with his dog, and that's what we're criticizing? How about you get off this guy and watch him in the fourth quarter and watch him when the game's on the line and watch him in the red zone and just see what he can really do when he's healthy, when everybody's around him. Let's never forget that year he started off like 10-2 and had Cliff Kingsbury looking like Tom Landry out there. Like this guy can play.
Yep. And that goes to my real question. There has been a problem with Kyler Murray, right? His injury history, because usually he plays well, then he has some type of injury, and that's when he struggles after he gets hurt. That's when he normally struggles, right? And he's got hurt every year. And even last year, he missed the beginning of the season from the torn ACL. He came back and I think they won 3 games when he got back. So I guess what can he do better outside of freak injuries?
Man, that is a great question. So listen, when he came back, the Cardinals were 3-5. They were close against Houston, and they probably should have won that last game of the season if not for a missed kick. So that could have been 5-3, and then the conversation would be completely different. I hear you on the injuries, but every quarterback gets dinged up. Every single quarterback gets dinged up, and I think you just have to learn how to play through it. You have to learn how to adjust your game a little bit. I think that's a big question that he's got to answer. He's got to figure out how to stay upright, how to not get tweaked, how to not get dinged. And if he does, he and the offense have to figure out how to make adjustments. It remains to be seen whether it can be done. It's a legitimate criticism.
What should we expect defensively from the Cardinals?
That's a great question, too. So they've got a bunch of young guys in the secondary. They drafted a bunch of dudes in the secondary. They've got some new guys to rush. This is supposed to be Jonathan Gannon's strength, right? Jonathan Gannon was the defensive coordinator with the Philadelphia Eagles. So this is going to be something Jonathan Gannon's going to have to deal with his whole career, because Jonathan Gannon was in the Super Bowl with the Eagles against the Kansas City football team. Patrick Mahomes went Patrick Mahomes, and in the second half, the Eagles defense fell apart. And the Arizona Cardinals went and hired the defensive coordinator who got smoked in the second half. Steve Wilks was in the same situation with the 49ers, was going up against the Kansas City football team and Patrick Mahomes with Patrick Mahomes in the second half. And the defensive coordinator who was leading the charge at the time of that collapse got fired. I wonder what's the difference between Steve Wilks and Jonathan Gannon. I don't know. It's not black and white for me. It's not something I can see in full color. You know what I'm saying? It's not, but what I want to know is, will this defense take on Jonathan Gannon's personality and look like that defense in Philadelphia looked? Are they going to be aggressive? Are they going to make big plays in big moments? And are they going to just keep it close enough to let the offense do what the offense does? There are a lot of question marks on that side of the ball, and I want to see them answered.
Okay. That's fair. Candace, you got a question?
That's a Candace.
Yeah. Well, actually, I had a couple, but first I want to ask about Marvin Harrison Jr. With him being the primary threat, do you think, as a rookie, that he can handle some of the double teams that I think he's naturally just going to get, because Trey McBride is a real threat just from a wide receiver perspective? Do you see him adjusting to that well in the NFL?
I mean, if anybody can do it, he can do it, right? Because he did what he did. Marvin Harrison played the way he played in college at Ohio State. That's no slouch of a conference. That is, Big Ten football is as good as you can get in college. I know the SEC. I get it. I understand. He played well in big games, right? I think that Marvin Harrison has his head screwed on the right way, in as much as his dad's a Hall of Famer. And when you read his quotes and you read between the lines, he wants to separate himself and make the name for himself. Not just that he's his daddy's kid, but that he's his own player. And I really like that. I mean, anybody who grows up wanting to kind of surpass their dad, that's kind of cool. I understand that. I identify with that. But if your dad's in the Hall of Fame and you're kind of gunning for that's an amazing goal, especially if you're not loud and bragging and cocky with it. And he's not, right? He's just saying the right stuff. He's doing the right stuff. He's got the size. He's got the speed. He's got the work ethic. He has been as battle tested as anybody can be coming out of college. Mm-hmm. Can he do it? I think so. Believe it or not, I think he can. He's got to prove it, though. He's a rookie. He is a rookie. He ought to be fetching towels and going to buy donuts. And he ought to be saying yes, sir, and no, sir. And he ought to be parking way in the back of the lot and walking all the way around the building. But at the same time, he has to step out there on that field and go, yeah, y'all got to prove it to me, because I know what I can do.
Like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Another question from the comment from Ryan. How long do you think this rebuild is going to last?
I don't know, man. I hope it go quick, man. I'm tired of watching it. You have any idea? Yo, listen, guys. A couple of years ago, I had to watch Arizona State football and Arizona Cardinals football from the press box. Do you know how depressing it is to go down beneath the stadium and talk to guys about why they lost again, twice a week, every week, all fall? Man, I lost my hair. This used to be black before I started covering these teams. Man. I need this rebuild to stop. I need them to start winning games today. Like, you kidding me?
Yeah.
I know the feeling.
This isn't about football. This isn't about football fans. This isn't about Eric. This is about me. This is my sanity, my mental health, and the fact that I got so much gray in my beard, man. This is not gonna work, man. I look like Father Time out here, man. We need to get some wins.
You and Devontae Adams going to do the same thing. Greg.
Yeah, man, exactly. Me and Devontae, man. If he ain't careful, somebody gonna look like somebody filled up a sack full of flour and busted him in the face with it. Like, that's what happens when you are in a stressful work environment for a prolonged period of time. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like when the president steps in and he was cool, but now he's like super old and all wrinkled up like Obama. Like, we need to win some football games for me.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg, I went to the Colorado game with Shador and them, and like it was like a minute and a half left, and they were losing. Me and like some other black dude just went, "It's time." And Colorado went out and scored with like a minute and a half left to win the game. I'm like,
listen, man. After that game, I went down to the Colorado media room, and Deion Sanders had this pendant on that looked like a whistle. It was a studded out coach's whistle. And I said, Coach, is that like, is that just a medallion or does that whistle work? Coach Prime looked at me and went, "Everything I do work, baby."
That's right. That's about
like,
right. Yep.
That's just like
That tracks.
That tracks. Were you there when Herm Edwards was there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was stressful. That was stressful.
You know, that wasn't really a bad era if you step back and look at it. They were pretty good. They were in the top 15 for a minute, and it kind of fell apart toward the end of that one season. COVID really blew that program up. COVID messed up Arizona State football more than any other program in the country. And if you stop and look, Coach Herm mentored Brandon Ayuk. He mentored Jaden Daniels. He mentored Antonio Pierce. Like, a lot of the people who've left the program, you know, since the whole thing fell apart, have gone on to better situations. I don't know what more you can ask for from a leader than to ask them to step and grow the people up underneath them. Yeah.
It ended like messed up too. I didn't like how it ended with Herm.
Yeah.
With
walking away in the middle of the season like that. I know it was rough, man. The allegations, the cheating scandal, the sanctions. I get it. I do. I understand. If I was an Arizona State fan, I'd be upset, but I think that could have gone a lot differently. I think that the second that Herman Edwards was hired, there was a faction of the fan base that just simply was not going to accept this hire and was hell-bent on making sure it did not work. He replaced a guy, Todd Graham, who was a popular coach, even if he didn't win very much. So, you know, Todd Graham started off great, you know, a couple of 11-win seasons, but then it all kind of fell apart for that program, and it was time for a change. And again, Herman Edwards, when he came in, he goes up to Michigan State, he beats Michigan State. Oregon was ranked number 4, came down, they beat Oregon. Like, if Arizona State could have figured out how to beat Utah, we'd be having a different conversation here.
Right.
Utah. All right. Let me see. Anything else? All right, let's get into the predictions. So at this part, like I told y'all, we just decide who's going to win first, second, third, fourth. You can give a reason why. If you won't, I still honestly don't know. So whoever wants to start first.
Ladies first. We start.
Ladies first. Let's hit it. Let's go.
All right, so I got 49ers at 12-5. Even because I can see them being more injured this year. I think they got pretty lucky injury-wise. But that schedule, for a team that just left the Super Bowl, I was surprised at how favorable that schedule was just looking at it. So anyway, 12-5 for them. I got 10-7 for the Seahawks. Because I think I know, Greg, you were saying we lost Pete Carroll. Man, he was a great CEO, but I don't think you understand how badly he mismanaged football games from a scheming perspective. It was rough, man. It just was. And then I got 9-8 for the Rams, because really the Rams and the Seahawks were tied. I mean, a lot of people really think about the Rams and the Seahawks completely differently, just because the Rams made the playoffs. They did have a really good run, but the Seahawks should have won that game. It was an absolute debauchery on losing that last game against the Rams, man. Those teams had tied records, but the Rams got the tiebreaker because they swept us. They got to go to the playoffs. Yeah, that's how she wrote. All right, and I got Arizona at 8-9 because I do think they're a good team, but I still think they got some particularly defensive bumps to work out when LJ Collier is on your defensive rotation. Is from personal experience, it's typically painful.
Greg, what you got?
I agree with Candace. Whatever she said, let's do that. Yo, so here's what I think. The coolest thing about the NFL is that you don't know, right? Like in the most sports, we can kind of tell you who we think is going to be pretty good. But in the NFL, there's always a team that shows up out of nowhere. There's always somebody who gets hurt, and then that team we think is going to be great falls apart. Like, you do not know in the NFL. That said, you look back over the last few years, the NFC West is always tough. There's always a team out of the NFC West that is in that Super Bowl contending picture. So let's assume that holds true, and let's assume that the rest of the division is tight. If I have to pick, and it sounds like that's what you're asking, I'm going to pick the 49ers to win the division. I'm going to say that the Cardinals will be second, the Rams will be third, and the Seahawks are going to have to prove it with the new coach. Candace, I'm so sorry. I hate to disagree with you because whatever you say goes, because you know this stuff to a level that I aspire to. But if I gotta pick, that's what I'm picking.
I get it. Yeah, it's a common refrain. It's cool. I've seen it in a lot of national media. It's fine. I
love it. Candace, like, yeah, smart people tend to agree with me, and thank you very much.
Man. All right, Melvin.
All right, so as like everybody else, I have 49ers winning the division. I think they're that within the division, they're just the one that they need to figure out what you're gonna do within the whole conference of the NFC. They have all the talent in the world, but of course we have the IU question, and we don't know what's going on with that. So, but I still think they're the standard of the division, and then figure out what they're gonna do within the conference, taking the next step of whatever they're gonna do. I have Rams at 2. I think, optimistically speaking, I think having with the resurgence of Puka, and then also Cup, and then I think Kyron Williams coming back for his second year would be very helpful, and then having Blake Corum behind him would also help. Third, I got Candace gonna hate me. I have Arizona. Arizona. Yeah, I love you, but Arizona has, I'm looking very forward to Marvin Harrison, what he's going to do. And I think, Kyler has his bumps, and like everybody does, but I think Kyler, when healthy, plays very well. He's very good as far as everything. Seahawks, I have them last. I just think there's so many questions with the new regime coming in, Pete Carroll leaving. I don't know. No, Seahawks have talent. That's the thing about this division. Like, the Seahawks and the Cardinals have talent. It's just the personnel. See what they're going to do with, as far as how to balance those things, balance the personnel out and the players.
Coaching don't matter. Yeah, coaching don't matter.
Yeah,
a great deal. Yeah,
for everybody.
Yep.
So
exactly. Yep.
Yeah. So 49ers. 49ers, Rams, Cardinals, and Seahawks.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. For my predictions, I want to say shout out Trey McBride and who's the other player? Kyron Williams. They helped me win a couple of fantasy football championships last year, so they always be in my good graces. Both of them players. Like trying to draft them this year. I put them both up on waivers last year. So, but my prediction, so pretty much a repeat of last year, but not the same exact records. I don't remember everybody's records last year, but I do think I had to see the 49ers winning. I think they take somewhat. I think they were number 1 seed in the whole NFC last year.
Yeah,
I think they take a step back from that, but they still win the division. I think they lost some players, but they returned in the core essentially.
Yeah,
I don't know if this is the last year of that core being together. Probably is if Brandon Ayuk, whatever happens with that, and like they're gonna try and trade him. So this is it's the last year, one last run at it before they had to pay before they had to pay Brock Purdy. So. Pretty much this is it. They're gonna try to go all out this year. Second, I had the Rams repeating. Basically, I'm giving them the coaching advantage with Sean McVay over Mike McDonald's being Mike McDonald's first year. So that's why I had the Rams second. And I think y'all had some young players that came up last year that really shows and stuff. So I really believe that.
Yeah, Trey Thomas and stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. It just depends on Matthew Stafford being healthy. Health is gonna be a key for everybody, essentially.
Yeah.
Seahawks, Kansas make a compelling case. Defense, I hope you're going to get better. Technically, you could get worse. You can go from bottom 3 to bottom 1. The worst, but with defensive coach, I would assume that Mike McDonald, that Ravens defense is really good. So I believe that defense will take a step forward. It's just about Geno continue their consistency towards the end of the season. That's going to be a lot dependent on the offensive line that helped as well. Cardinals, I have y'all improving. They had 4 wins last year. Kyler Murray, they're the whole season. They're normally competitive in games. So I'm going to follow your Detroit Lions model of the first year. Really bad. The second year, they got to about 7-10, 8-9 last year. So I have the Arizona Cardinals doing about that. Then next year to be what the Lions did last year. Essentially, they could try to take them run next year. So pretty much a repeat of last year, but kind of a little, I don't know everybody's record, so just same order.
All right. So I got San Francisco as well. My last round, everything you just said, Sharky. Of course, shout out to C Mac for getting paid, former Carolina Panther, yada yada yada. But again, their defense is legit. I don't think they lost too much on defense. That's going to keep them in games. And of course, Brock Purdy and that chemistry they got going on with their offense is going to carry. Even though losing Ayuk is going to hurt, they still got C-Mac back there, so they straight. The second one I have the Rams. I think health-wise, I think the Rams could definitely be a top 5 offense. When you consider the pieces that they got around and the players, it's just, are they going to be healthy? Are they going to just health-wise is going to allow them? Because if you feel like Nakua Mel is going to give us another part 2 of what he did last season, we get a healthy Cooper Kupp. Master Africa definitely throw for more than 4,000 yards. So I think they can be at least a top 5 offense in the NFC overall. So if that's to happen, that'll get them second in this division for sure. Third and fourth, I kind of I'm with you, Sharky. I got the Cardinals going third, but I got them winning 7 games, and I got the Seahawks definitely doing the same thing. So the fact that you said 7 is all right. Whenever me and you hear that's normally a happen, which is crazy, but I do think the Cardinals do take some kind of step up, especially because Kyler will be here hopefully the entire season, and you got him a legit number 1. So legit number 1 receiver. So I'm bringing the Arizona Cardinals good energy. I'm gonna try to hopefully go to a game. Candace, I'm not as confident as you are as far as the Seahawks being, because you got them being 9 and above. I would have them going 9 and below, but not too far out, because you still respect the Seahawks as an organization, even though Pete Carroll was calling all the shots. New regime, new coach, and new understandings. There's going to be, I think, a lot of more pressure on Geno than we realize, because he is dealing with a defensive rookie head coach. So I think a lot of it will fall on Geno. So I think they will take a step back, but not too much.
That's cool. Much. The year everybody put us last, we ended up making a play.
That's true. That's
it's like Greg said. You never know.
I never know.
And listen, guys, if you guys are right about the Cardinals, cool. If you're wrong about the Cardinals, here's why you'll be wrong. Here's why the Cardinals will be better than you predict, if they're better than you predict. The players love Jonathan Gannon, right? They are with that dude. Gannon's cool, right? He's funny, right? But he knows his stuff, right? And he's got this young defense full of no-name dudes. Look at that defensive roster and tell me 3 guys that you recognize if they walked up to you at the mall. These guys have a lot to prove. And if that defense can hold teams right around 25, if you're wrong, it will be because the players love Jonathan Gannon in the same way that the guys in Detroit love Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, I think to pick about what Greg said about defense, that's what's gonna come down to this division is the defense, because all our defense except the 49ers, of course, we know what their defense has been for years right now. Just our Cardinals, Rams, and Seahawks, us three fans are in here. Our defense is a very young, very unproven, going through a new regime right now. So it's gonna come down. That's gonna be a big factor of if you follow throughout the whole year, that's gonna be determine what standards is gonna be. Like I said, you never know, like Greg said.
And that's the fun of it, right? That's the fun part.
Yeah. I will say I think the 49ers run defense will take a bit of a hit. They don't have a lot of run defenders. Javon Hargraves, just not. I think you're gonna be able to run on the 49ers this year. But
somebody who's that tore the ACL in the Super Bowl, he won't be back.
Trey Greenlaw.
Yeah, he won't be back.
That's the loss for them. I think he'll be back at some point in the season, but then how does he look, stuff like that? I think they'll run defense will be a little bit more vulnerable. But I said, their schedule is pretty looking at their schedule. Honestly, I'm pretty mad about how they got that schedule. It's a little crazy to me.
I need to look you up. I don't know who their new defense coordinator is. They fired Steve Wilkes.
Oh, they promoted somebody from within, Nick somebody, I think. But they hired Brandon Staley as an assistant. So there's this kind of weird dynamic where they're whose defense is it really going to be? It seems like it's kind of going to be both of theirs, which nobody really owns it. So anyway, that's going to be weird. We'll see what happens.
I dealt with that as Titans fan one year. It wasn't good. So let's see how it works. All right.
Cool. Let's see. We'll see. Anything else, guys? Man, appreciate y'all again. Thank y'all so much.
Yo, I just want to say thank you for having me. You can read my stuff in the Arizona Republic and
Absolutely.
online
We're
at
gonna definitely get to
azcentral.com. And I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Saying More, SAYING More, MOORE. And yo, thank you guys. This was a lot of fun for me. I really appreciated hearing from all of you, mostly Candace, but I really appreciated hearing from all of you. And I'm glad we didn't ask the guy named Purdy too much about the 49ers, because that just would have been unfair, right? Like that would have been
Yeah.
And speaking of the 49ers, real quick, shout out to Tyler. He was supposed to join us today. Had an emergency, so best prayers out, prayers wishes, good energy out to Tyler for sure.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I just appreciate being on, guys. I always appreciate opportunity to talk ball. Great opinions. Enjoyed it as always. Follow the show, my show for Seahawks at Ethos Seahawks. But if you want to hear NBA content, most people are Grizz fans listening. Follow me on my personal page at Candace H901 or Candace 901.
There we go.
Hey,
yeah,
thank y'all. Thank y'all. Just thank y'all all the time. Y'all family. It's no problem. And Greg, I really enjoyed this. Candace, as always, I enjoyed this. Very fun. Y'all follow me on Twitter. I think I got into, if y'all are watching on the headline, it's my name, but without vowels. I did ASAP Rocky style.
But you act like people don't know you though. You are a menace. People know you, bro. People know you.
But yeah, y'all follow me on Twitter or X, excuse me. On MLVNPRDY. I just talk crap. I talk about anything. I do anything. We have fun. Yeah. People that follow me know. Yeah.
And speaking of X, shout out to Elon Musk. I need me a rocket, man.
Man, you and this Elon Musk. Goodness gracious. Oh man, of course, shout out to Trevor in the comments, man. LBR gaming under full effect. See him get his ass whooped on college football or whatever the hell he's playing. Shout out to our other part, Streeter Hardaway will be recording, I believe, tomorrow. So make sure y'all check us out. Shout out to the Darren Jeans Report. Apparently they got a new cane. We're gonna find out next week. I don't know.
Wrestling.
We'll see. And shout out wrestling, all that stuff. Jeans got you. Of course, Ryan Harris in the comments. Shout out to you, Ryan. Salute to you with the jump pass. Real deal with Damian Adams. Make sure y'all check him out as well, man. That's what we got. Shout out to SeatGeek. And of course, bag out some merch, man. Sharky wearing the shirt right now. I'm gonna wear mine next week.
What is over? What is?
What is over? What is? Where they can follow you, dog?
Of course, man. Y'all know you follow me at the one DAONE_P Shark. Got a bunch of. Well, actually about to take a break from Greasy content. Thankfully, some league ends. Got 2 months, so I get to relax a little bit. But of course, I still be talking football. Y'all know I'm a Titans fan, and we'll be doing this whole NFL division preview. So we'll be talking about a lot of that coming up. That's where I wanted to get a shout out. Get a bit of an update on Ryan's the Jump Pass podcast. He said he's going to do a preview of all 32 teams. So episode literally dedicated to all 32 teams. So be on the lookout for that on his podcast.
All right, Ryan. Let's get it.
All right, y'all. I'm about to go fold some laundry and hit the gym before the WNBA All-Star game tonight. Mahalo at y'all.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all for coming. Appreciate y'all joining. See y'all next week. Say Blades. Peace out. Stream.